The Journalist and the Lumberjack. Episode 5. A story from Charlotte Scott's private notebook. Characters: Chantel Scout and Huntley Jacobs. Setting: a cabin in the middle of the woods at night.
Chantel rummages through the drawer of her desk for a flashlight. The power went out a few minutes ago while she was sitting at her desk writing up the news story she'd been working on for weeks now. She'd hoped that the power might miraculously turn back on at some point, but she was having no such luck. Her fingers wrapped around the base of the flashlight, much like they'd wrapped around the base of the...
Note to self: is it appropriate to include a memory of Chantel using a toy previously, and how the girth of the flashlight reminds her of it? How thick is the average toy? I don't think it'd be as big as a flashlight, right? Oh gosh, I can't buy one to find out. Can I? No, that'd be too embarrassing. Fix this part later.
Chantel Scout was a no-nonsense, down-to-business journalist and didn't have time to waste fantasizing, especially now. She tests the flashlight, pushing the on button. The bulb hesitates, refusing to turn on more than a fraction of its full intensity. Chantel smacks it against the side of her desk, and suddenly the light bursts out, filling the room in front of her with a high-powered, focused glow. She walks through the darkness, making her way out of the room to the top of the stairs with her newfound light. The log cabin she rented for the week is huge, like some old wooden giant sleeping quietly in the woods, secretly tucked away from the rest of humanity. As she takes one step at a time, heading downstairs, she listens for the telltale creaks, reminding herself that no, there probably aren't any serial killers out here. The generator. The owner told her about it before he left her with the keys. If anything happens, just power up old Rusty, and things will be right as rain in a couple seconds. Funny, rain was her entire issue at the moment. The sudden torrential downpour and a quick burst of lightning flashing through the sky before everything had turned dark a few minutes earlier. Slipping into her designer raincoat, some fancy affair she bought on her last trip to New York City, she steps into her heavy rain boots and...
Note to self: why does Chantel have heavy rain boots? Was she expecting this to happen? Is it just the kind of thing people pack when they go on week-long vacations in the woods? Maybe look this up and figure out if it makes sense. Are designer raincoats even a thing?
Chantel's feet sink in the sudden muck and mud, slurping into the slick ground with every step she takes towards the small generator shed. The rain quickens, pounding harder and harder against her hood-covered head. The flashlight suddenly dies, the rain soaking through the intricate electronics. She tucks it close to her body, thinking it may make a useful weapon if needed. Who knows what's out here this late at night, especially in the dark during a power outage? Suddenly, the generator shed looms close. She scrambles with the key to unlock the door and forces it open, shoving her petite frame inside. It's dark and damp. The faint smell of moss from the wet forest nearby overwhelms everything else. It only now dawns on her that her task is nearly impossible to manage in the dark. How is she supposed to find the pull cord? She pushes the switch on the wall for the overhead light a handful of times, but nothing happens. In a half-hearted attempt at reviving her flashlight, she smacks it against the side of the doorframe. Nothing. It stays dark, dead, useless. Suddenly, another burst of lightning flashes from the sky, lighting up the forest outside. The silhouette of a man brightens, shadows, and then vanishes as the lightning streaks overhead. Chantel hitches her breath and backs up, hiding in the generator shed, hoping this sudden intruder hasn't seen her. The flashlight she just tried to revive clatters to the ground, lost to the darkness. The man steps inside, slow. He takes quiet, easy strides, directly towards her. Chantel backs up against the wooden walls of the shed, trying to hold her breath to hide within the shed as rain pounds, even harder now. The tin roof reverberates and echoes, nearly driving her to madness when... The man steps close, presses tight against her. She gasps and opens her mouth to scream, but then realizes there shouldn't be anyone else in the woods for miles and miles. No one will hear her, no matter what she does.
Here,
The man says, thrusting something into her hands. It's the same thickness as her flashlight, and also the thing I mentioned before that I don't know if it's appropriate to include in the story.
hold this. Shine it right there for me.
He pushes the button on his own heavy-duty, waterproof flashlight, taking her hand in his to guide her, lighting a path to the pull cord on the generator. Her entire body hums at his touch, as if an electric spark just passed from him to her. His eyes land on hers, staring intently. His lips tug up into a sneer as he stares at her, raking his eyes from her plain, pretty face down to the wetness of her shirt, now nearly see-through from being drenched with rain.
What the heck are you even doing here?
He asks.
Note to self, maybe Huntley should use swear words. He's supposed to be a rough and rugged lumberjack, but maybe also he prefers to be more of the strong and silent type, and profanity is beneath him. I'll fix this later.
I just... Chantel stammers, watching as he works. His strong, powerful fingers wrap around the handle to the pull cord. She suddenly imagines what that would feel like if he were holding her wrists above her head, pinning her against the wall, and...
Note to self. The entire note is scribbled out and unreadable.
I'm a journalist, Chantel says, submissively strong. I'm here finishing up a news story. It's going to be big.
Oh, you're one of those fancy city girls, are you?
He asks, looking with disdain at her designer raincoat. Who are you? She asks, ignoring his derisive glare. I was told I'd be the only person out here.
The only traveler, sure.
He says.
Name's Huntley. I live here, full-time. Have for years. The manager of that log cabin you're staying at told me to keep an eye out for you. Said you probably wouldn't know what to do in an emergency. Seems he was right.
I was trying, she counters, trying her best not to stare at his strong, steady hands as he pulls hard on the cord to start the generator.
Made it this far, sure.
Huntley says, shaking his head at her.
Get a better flashlight for one. Not something useless like that thing. Can't even stand to get a little wet.
Suddenly, the generator lets out a loud roar, life bursting into it. It thrums and vibrates unevenly for a second before settling into a soft purr. The sound reminds her of her dad's old Camaro, the one he used to pick her up in when it was his turn to take her for the weekend. They'd go to the park, and he'd push her on the swings like they were the only two people in the world. Before he brought her home, they'd always go grab a milkshake at Dairy Princess, too. Those memories were always special to her, and the fact that this man reminds her of that must mean something.
You gonna stand out here in the rain all night?
He asks her. Reaching for the flashlight, he grins as she stares at him, lost. Slow, he unwraps her fingers from around the base and takes it back.
Go on, city girl,
He says, pulling her away from the wall.
Let's get you back inside and dried up.
I think I can, she starts to say.
Note to self. What if he smacks her butt as she walks to the door? Is that sexy, or would it make Chantel mad? Maybe both? I don't know how that works, though. It seems confusing. Figure that out later.
As Chantel walks back to the house, she feels the burning glare of the woodsman's eyes focused on her wet backside. Her pants are drenched now, too, clinging to her body like a second skin. He's right. She definitely needs to dry off and change, but she'd been doing laundry right before the power went out. Everything else will be just as wet, except the one thing she didn't need to wash yet. Huntley strides into her rented cabin right along with her, looking over the place like he's been here 1,000,000 times before. Chantel crosses her arms over her chest, indignant. Her mouth opens, about to tell him she's fine now and that she no longer requires his services. But then something stops her.
You're even prettier when the lights are on.
he says, smirking at her as she fidgets, her cheeks blushing red at the smooth flirtation. Thanks, she mumbles. Thanks for the help. I have a lot of work to do now, so if you don't mind,
That's it?
he asks.
I go through all that trouble and you're gonna kick me to the curb already? How about you change into something dry first so I know you're not going to catch a cold?
I can't, she murmurs.
You can't?
He asks, looking at her funny. I was doing laundry before you came. All of it. This is all I have left. This and...
Look, city girl,
he says, shaking his head at her.
it's either change into whatever else you have dry, or you're seriously gonna get sick and then I'll have to stay here and take care of you. Judging by that startled look in your eye, I doubt you want that. What is it? The beard? Go on, you can say it.
She looks at him then. Really looks at him, and... Dark brown hair covers his head, tousled and slicked back by the rain. A hint of white peppers his close-shaven facial hair, but barely, just the right amount. His eyes stare at her like deep, soulful pools of water, rippling and liquid. His smile tugs his lips halfway up, an almost ever-constant smirk. His lumberjack-style flannel shirt has a couple too many buttons undone in the front, showcasing his powerful pecs. The sleeves rolled up to his elbows show off his strong, ripped forearms. Chantel can only imagine what the rest of his body looks like. It's got to be good, though. Really, really good. I like your beard, she says. Can I? He rolls his eyes at her as if he gets asked this all the time.
Go on.
She runs her fingers through it, feeling the...
Note to self, I can't write this without blushing. I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh.
Show me what you have to change into.
Huntley says, nudging her towards the stairs, grinning at her hard after she finishes admiring his beard. It's not appropriate, she says, climbing, stumbling up the steps, the wood creaking beneath her feet.
You need to keep warm,
he says.
If we can't do it with clothes, we'll have to find some other way to make sure you stay nice and...
The rest of the page is blank, and the next pages in the notebook are also blank. Yo, Hunter shouts out from the lecture hall door. What's up, baby sis? I blink and look up. Everyone else in my English class is gone now. The professor idles around near the front, waiting for the next class of students to file in. Hunter climbs the aisle steps between the stadium-style seating, coming right for me. I slam my notebook shut, hiding the story I was just working on. I probably shouldn't have been writing in the middle of my English class, but I had an idea and I got really into it. So into it that I seemed to have missed the bell ringing to end my class. What's that? He asks, staring hard at my notebook, a wicked grin cresting the entire lower half of his face. Nothing, I stutter. It's my English notebook? I was taking. Before I can stop him, he snatches it away. He flips the notebook open as I stare at him, wide-eyed, open-mouthed. He flicks through the pages, starting at the back until he finds the last page I was working on. Then he turns the pages backwards until he gets to the beginning of the story. The title at the top of the page says, The Journalist and the Lumberjack, a trapped-in-the-woods romance. Hunter sneers as he sits in the row above me, reading my story to himself. His eyes scan the pages, slow, almost rhythmic. It'd be entrancing if it weren't so embarrassing. It'd be exciting if it weren't so... What's this part mean? He asks, pointing to my first note. Is a flashlight the same thickness as a toy? Why'd you put quotes around it? I mumble, my face burning so red I think I'm about to go supernova. Hunter, can I have that back? What kind of toy is the same thickness as a flashlight? he muses. Shit. Some kind of girly toy, right? What? He pauses for a second, thinking. Nah, drawing a blank. Help me out, baby sis. It's for, adults? Hunter furrows his brow, staring hard at me. I can't even right now. More and more people are filing into the lecture hall now. I freeze up, unable to leave, but finding it impossible to stay too. Hunter looks down at the words again, then back at me, reads my note again, and... Wait, he says, something suddenly dawning on him. An adult toy? Look, I say, fast without thinking. I grab the sleeve of his shirt and pull him a little closer as I scramble up closer to him. It's a vibrator. I think I managed to say the words, but I kind of black out from humiliation all of a sudden and only wake up a few seconds later. Hunter looks at me for a fraction of a second before turning away fast. He reaches down, grabs my backpack with one hand, and shoves my private notebook inside with the rest of my books. Then he tosses it into my lap and nods at me slowly, refusing to look at me. Huh, he says as I stumble out of the row of bench seats heading for the aisle. I'm sorry, I mumble, mostly to Hunter, but also to the group of girls who start staring at me and giggling as I run out of the room, never looking back.